Hello everyone, FSG here, hope you're all doing well. Giants are at Tokyo Game Show this week and they have just released a brand new gameplay trailer for Hutan Pantai, which is the new East Asian map coming for Farming Simulator 25. So, without further ado, let's jump in, let's watch it in its entirety, and then we'll go back through it and pick through some of the elements that we can maybe spot in there. So, sit back, relax, enjoy, and then we'll chat in a minute.
Rated E for everyone.
So there you have it, Hutan Pantai. Very much a Japanese feel. I know they've called it East Asian, they don't want to kind of pigeonhole themselves, but it does feel very, very Japanese. Now, looking at this first, we're going to pause it just here. We see this is our main protagonist in this trailer, the little three-wheeler truck there. And we see this numerous times throughout the trailer, but as you can see over there in the background, that looks like the Class Evian that we saw the other day. But there's some nice features here. I love the texture on this paving at the front here, and you can see the lanterns here hanging from the buildings as well, giving it that kind of authentic style. And then these cherry blossom trees as well, these pink blossom on the trees. That's a nice touch, and we haven't seen anything like that before. And looking over to the distance there, we've got a bridge and a few things happening over there as well. Now moving on, we get to this industrial area, and we've got Oleum Corp there on the silos. Now, could that be some sort of reference to us being able to make our own diesel fuel or something like that? Or maybe it's more to do with the oils from the crops. We just don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe it's a corn-based fuel. And over in the distance, you can see this large container ship there with cranes. So potentially we're looking at loading up some of the crops and productions that we make and shipping them overseas. And then kind of a more modern building there, again kind of concrete structure as you would see over there in East Asia. Now we'll roll it forward a little bit further, and then we've got this beautiful kind of temple type structure, nice pagoda there, and again, like I said, kind of feels very Japanese, but they're keeping it loosely based around, could be numerous countries in East Asia. But we can see all the trees in the background there, those rock faces looking very good as well, and again touching on the nice water texture there. And again, as we see the Iseki tractor roll over the front there with the Farm Tech trailer attached to it, we start to see a bit of a cityscape here. Narrow lanes there with our little truck rolling through them, and the neon lights, the aircon on the outside of the buildings, looking very nice indeed. And then we roll to the Kubota tractor with what looks like some sort of back wing mower on the back of it. I can't work out a brand for this, but it definitely looks like a batwing mower type, mulcher type. I can't really tell what it is. It looks like it's mulching or resetting the field, or maybe it's even sowing a crop into the field there, because there's a little hopper on the back of it, if that's what that is. But doing something to the crop before it regrows, which is interesting. And of course, we've got the train running past in front of us as well, with power lines above it. So an electric train, we don't see the actual train. So it's obviously going to be different to ones we've seen on some of the other maps before, as this is the first time we've had a map in this region of the world. And then again, a lovely pan round here, again looking at some of these more traditional buildings and these stairways, lovely ornate fence work there as well. This looks really, really nice. And then we see our little truck here with a 6R in the field working with some root crops there. That looks like red beets that the 6R is pulling there, and this looks like the DeWolf harvester that we had in the premium edition at the end of year 2 of FS22. Next up, we've got a lovely close-up there of the water pump showing how that works, and then the Iseki rice planter there working in the field, looking very good indeed. And then we move on. There's a Komatsu. This is our first reference really to anything to do with logging in FS25, so proof that it's coming. I was really pleased with the updates in the Platinum Edition and Silver Run Forest. I think it really brought forestry a lot further forward than it was before, so excited to see if there's been any more improvements for FS25, but I certainly will be giving it a go. I really started to enjoy forestry in FS22, and obviously there's a sawmill there, but I wonder if there's some productions coming with that as well. And then there's, interestingly, a very little reference to the weather in this trailer. So we've got a bit of rain here, and you can see obviously the haze as the lighthouse light spins towards us, and some of the lights on the ship there. Now zooming in on the ship there, it's called the Star Muesli, which I guess suggests to me that it's probably going to be hauling some sort of grain crops. So a little bit of play on words there. Again, like I assumed earlier on, those cranes could well be used. This could well be a sell point or a loading point. Now, whether or not those cranes work or it is just a tipping point, we'll just have to wait and see. But nice to see this port element to it. I like that. It's a nice touch. Then we're back to the fields, and we have got a rice crop being harvested. That's that Iseki tractor again in the foreground that we've seen already, and the rice harvester. Nice look at the inside of the cab here, and then the crop being taken into the machine. One thing I did notice here on this, that the hair on the character there looks a lot more detailed than the hair we've seen before on some of the character models. So I'm kind of hoping we've not really seen much about the character page since we've had all of this news about FS25. I'm kind of hoping there's a little bit more detail to the characters and a little bit more customization, but we'll just have to wait and see. But there is that rice harvester doing its thing, and then another beautiful shot. More traditional buildings here, cobbled roads, and our little three-wheeler rolling through there as well. And then we're back to that temple that we saw at the start. Then we cut back to the 450 Evian harvesting what looks like oats in the field there. I'm really excited about this little combine. I think it looks fantastic. It will be great on some of the smaller farms and smaller fields on maps. And then we cut to a Kubota here, an R640 with an Albert silage grab on the front there. Obviously going in to feed the animals here. You can just start to see that different coloured texture there for TMR. Now that looks different to the one that we saw the other day on the little 25-second clip for water buffalo. So I'm still kind of holding out hope that you can give your cows silage as well as TMR. So we'll just have to wait and see on that one. I'm a little bit disappointed in this frame to see that very square small pen there. I was kind of hoping for adaptable pastures or ability to kind of for the pasture to fill the space of a field. Doesn't look like we're going to get that in base game, but we might have to rely on the modders for that one. But I do like the way the road drops off to the side. You see it's sloping down at an angle there. It's not completely flat, which is really nice to see. And as we move on here, I think we've seen our first glimpse here of adult goats as well. That looks like a female goat there with the younglings jumping around in front of it. And then a few clips of water buffaloes and our pigs. And then we finish up with a couple of shots here of the city. And I'm going to pause it just here because that sign is very, very front and center in this shot here. So ramen, of course, uses rice noodles and eggs. So there's a couple of things there. And obviously chicken and things like that. So maybe that is another one of the new productions. And as we pan out here, that is us for now. So there you go, your first look at Huntan Pantai, the new East Asian map, Farming Simulator 25. Now, in addition, they did release some nice shots to go with the blog, and as you can see here, we've got one of the city centre with the neons on at night, so a lot of glow from those lights, which is nice. And you can also see the stars in the sky in the background, which is very cool. And the truck there, kind of nondescript truck, like kind of small truck for hauling things around. Now, there's another image further on. It does have a lizard logo on the front of it, so no clear brand as to what that is based on. Isuzu or something like that, possibly. We'll just have to wait and see. And then we have a daytime shot, very similar to the shot we saw in the trailer with the rain coming down. We've got it there in slightly better conditions, but looks like there's a lot going on there. We've got a silo in the foreground there, which looks like a grain silo. A couple of smaller boats at the front here as well, and then that big ship over in the background as well. So you can also see there, we've got the city or the town in the foreground. We've got quite a hilly map. This is quite a lot of different terrain elevation going on here, which should make it quite interesting. There might be some quite interesting things to find at the top of these hills. Maybe you go for a hike up there and things like that. And nice to see some of the kind of autumnal tree colours there as well. So looking forward to that. Again, still no news on seasons and how that's going to work, so we'll have to wait and see, but definitely looking like we're getting visual seasons anyway, so that's looking good. And then this shot here is nice, again showing some of the detail on those road pavings and some of those buildings. Lots and lots of power lines going around here as well, and you can see just over into the distance there some of the fields. It doesn't look like the fields are going to be particularly huge on this map, but it gives you an idea for what they possibly could be like over there. We've got, I think, some sort of production over there with the blue roofs on the buildings as well, and you can see what looks like a road or train track running off into the distance there on those raised stilts. Here's a beautiful shot of the temple that we've seen a couple of times in the trailer as well, with some lovely lighting on there, and you got to see the mist and some of the new lighting effects. One thing I have noticed from the trailer and these images as well, a very limited amount of kind of the haze and the fog that everybody was talking about earlier on, like we're going to overdo that with every map. It looks like it only comes at certain times of the day or certain weather conditions, so it looks like they're not going to overdo it. I was really pleased to see that in the trailer, actually, that there was less focus on those kind of elements. We've seen that now, tick in the box, looks beautiful, great, let's focus on some of the other stuff, and they've really done that in this trailer, which is nice. And here's a nice shot of the city as well. Lots going on, I think, here. Lots of different buildings we can see there. Some of the silos over to the right-hand side. It looks like they are similar to the ones that we saw earlier on, if not the same ones. Also, you can see down here these kind of gazebos, maybe some sort of market garden sell point that appears there. Maybe it's on certain times of the day. It doesn't look like to be much there at the moment, but maybe it's a pop-up kind of sell point that appears certain times of the day or week. And again, lots and lots of kind of potential productions and elements in there. We're not broken it down. Hopefully we're going to get a bit more detail when we get the full map tour of this at some point in the future, but this is just a teaser, a bit of a taster for now, for us to get our head around things. And here's a beautiful shot, and look at that. We have that Massey 8570, that more old-fashioned kind of traditional, few years older Massey. Looking really good, I've got to say. Really nice to see that in game. Now, there is some speculation that we did already maybe see this in a shed way back when in the Spinach blog, hidden away, just peeking out of the top of one of the sheds over in the far distance. But there it is in all its glory, looking very nice. Nice to see some older machinery again, and you can see the railway track running over the top of the map here on that very high raised bridge, concrete bridge there, and then some of the traditional buildings as well in the background there. It looks really nice. I'm really liking what I'm seeing so far, I have to say. I'm quite taken with what I've seen so far. This, I can very much see myself wasting a few hours on this map when FS25 comes out. And here's another one with the town in the background. I'm guessing the town is going to take up quite a large amount of the map due to the fact it's been in so many of the pictures. Now, I could be wrong, but it does look quite big, so it looks like the fields are all kind of surrounding the main city, which is interesting. Slightly different take than maybe we've had before, where the sell points and the villages and the towns have been slightly smaller. But again, you can see that truck there, and you can see that lizard logo on the front there, and then the Iseki harvester, which we've seen numerous times now. A little bit of a look there at the harvested texture for the rice as well, which is nice to see. So there you have it. That is the information we have so far on Hutan Pantai. Lots to take in. I'm still finding stuff every time I rewatch this trailer, so if you spotted anything in there that you thought was interesting or kind of triggers a little bit of speculation, do pop something in the comments and let me know, and we can look into it in a little bit more detail. Like I said, there's likely to be more stuff coming very soon. They're at Tokyo Game Show all week, so there's potential that this is the first of a few little drips of information that they're going to release. But lovely to see the other map. Obviously, we've seen a lot of Riverbend Springs now, so great to see the other map finally. They've been talking about it for a while, and we've seen a lot of Riverbend Springs, so expect to see a lot more information on this one as well. But I'd love to know what you think. So far, I'm quite taken with it. Obviously, I'm going to reserve judgment till I've sat down and played it, but I think Giants have really upped their game when it comes to creating maps. I was a massive fan of Silver Run, and both Riverbend Springs and now Hutan Pantai look like really good base maps to get your teeth into. So, all credit to them. So, there you go. Thanks for watching. More to come. As soon as I have any information, I will get it to you. But for now, from me, thanks for watching. Take care. Bye for now.